We were hoping you'd come back.
Well, I won't be staying for dinner. Marcel told me that Vincent would live to smile if I just came to say goodbye.
Did he now?
It's been a while since we've heard anything new about the Vampire Diaries universe or the spin-off Legacies Season 5, but that's about to change. Legacies showrunner Brett Matthews just revealed that Season 5 was going to include a time jump. So we're here to fill you in on everything you need to know about the potential Season 5 and what's coming next in the Vampire Diaries universe. Picking up right after the events of Legacies Season 4 would have felt a bit strange, especially with so much changing. Instead, Season 5 was planned to not only continue the story, but also take the Vampire Diaries universe in a bold new direction. Showrunner Brett Matthews shared that Season 5 would have involved a time jump. We would have been in a time jump scenario. I think the fun of the 5th season would be to take those characters who had reached such a good place in the school and then move them beyond it, seeing where they were and how they'd find their way back to each other. While a time jump might seem surprising at first, it actually makes sense, especially considering what happened in Season 4. With Kaylee Bryant, a longtime cast member, leaving and other characters' stories wrapped up, it would have felt odd to dive straight into the aftermath of Season 4. The writers clearly saw that a time jump was the smartest way to move forward and give the show a fresh start for Season 5. On the flip side, there's also some not-so-great news to talk about. When we heard that Legacies was cancelled after Season 4, it was a bummer, and since then we've learned a lot about what the show's Season 5 could have been. Legacies, as the second spin-off after the originals, was different in tone and focus from its predecessors. While the Vampire Diaries and the originals often dealt with more mature themes, Legacies leaned toward younger characters, lighter moments, and a campier vibe, with the students of the Salvatore School battling various monsters each week. Unfortunately, ratings dropped, and during the Warner Bros. Discovery merger, the decision was made to end the show after Season 4. But just because the show was cancelled doesn't mean there weren't already big plans for Season 5. Julie Plec and some of the Legacies writers have shared that they had concrete ideas for the story in Season 5, including introducing some much-anticipated characters into the Vampire Diaries universe. In fact, the finale of Season 4 set up a lot of what would have happened in Season 5. For example, Jed and Ben, now free of their curses, were about to embark on a new journey. In Season 5, we would have seen them struggle being without their powers, perhaps realizing that what they thought were curses were actually gifts. Another major focus of Season 5 was going to be Caleb and Cleo. The Season 4 finale hinted that Cleo's powers as an oracle would play a big role in the story, especially after she saw something terrifying about her future with Caleb. Meanwhile, Landon's new role as the ferryman of Limbo, basically the Vampire Diaries universe's version of Purgatory, could have added a lot of depth to his character in Season 5. His story was pretty much wrapped up in Season 4, but the idea of him embracing this new role after sacrificing his emotions to save his friends was intriguing. It would have given Arya Shagasemi, who played Landon, a lot more to explore. As for the Salvatore School, Alaric Saltzman's departure as headmaster set the stage for Caroline Forbes Salvatore to step in. This would have changed things a lot at the school, and with Caroline at the helm, things might have been a bit calmer, but probably not for long. Season 5 also would have introduced a huge twist: Elena and Damon's daughter, Stephanie Salvatore. Julie Plec mentioned that they had big plans for this character who was supposed to attend the Salvatore School, meaning the time jump in Season 5 would have been significant. This would have been a pretty big shift, with Stephanie likely being around toddler age in the Legacies timeline. And while we're not sure if a third Vampire Diaries spinoff will happen, the possibility of seeing Elena and Damon's kids on screen in the future is still there. Even though Legacies was cancelled, the story didn't have to end there. Buffy the Vampire Slayer continued its story through a comic book series after its TV run ended, and there's no reason why Legacies couldn't do something similar. With fans still hungry for more of Julie Plec's work, perhaps there's a chance for Season 5's story to live on in a different format. It's a shame the show was cancelled, especially since there were so many exciting possibilities for Season 5, but maybe the creators will find a way to bring it back in some form. When Legacies got cancelled by the CW, Julie Plec, the co-creator of the Vampire Diaries, was pretty bummed out. The cancellation marked the end of a 13-year run for the TVD universe, and it was the beginning of the network saying goodbye to a lot of genre shows. Plec shared her frustration on Twitter, calling it the Red Wedding at the CW, referencing the shocking deaths from Game of Thrones. She expressed her gratitude for the fans, cast, and crew, but also took a moment to mourn the show's end. At that time, things weren't easy for Plec. Besides Legacies, she was also producing Roswell, New Mexico, which got cancelled too. So with the Vampire Diaries universe gone, it felt like her influence on the CW had vanished. But not all was lost for her. She managed to pick up a deal with Peacock to adapt the Vampire Academy books into a series, which got her back into familiar territory. Unfortunately for TVD fans, the chance of Legacies Season 5 disappeared with a cancellation, and the hopes for another season were dashed. The main reason Legacies got cancelled was because of falling viewership and changes at the CW. The network has always had smaller audiences compared to bigger networks like ABC or NBC, and as those numbers continued to drop, it led to the decision to cancel. In its first season, Legacies averaged around 1 million viewers per episode, but by Season 4, that number had dropped to less than half of that. Additionally, the CW was restructuring and moving away from young adult dramas to focus more on cheaper reality TV and Canadian shows. This made it less likely they'd approve another season or any spin-offs. As for the future of the Vampire Diaries universe, things are uncertain right now. Julie Plec has said before that she still has stories she wants to tell in that world, but she hasn't specified which characters she'd want to focus on. With a shift in the CW's programming and the closure of the TVD chapter, it doesn't seem likely that another series will get picked up anytime soon. However, Plec might find a new home for a TVD spin-off on a streaming platform. Meanwhile, she's busy working as an executive producer on the upcoming We Were Liars series for Amazon. If Legacies had continued with Season 5, it might have grounded the show more, which some fans felt was missing. Legacies had shifted away from the roots of TVD, diving into alternate universes and other fantastical elements that took it away from vampires and werewolves. Bringing Caroline in as headmistress of the Salvatore School and introducing Damon and Elena's daughter could have tied it back to what fans loved about the earlier shows. Season 5 would likely have resonated with fans who missed the old TVD feel, giving Legacies a fresh yet familiar direction. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Your suggestions for future videos are always welcome in the comments below.